check.
Can we all agree in future we won't do 1 2 1 2? We'll do something else.
Yes, I agree. Sorry about that. That was really bad.
Check, wallaby, wallaby.
Nice. Very nice. Aussie.
Oi,
Oi.
Hello and welcome to Teckno Tuesday. My name is Kendrick Bender and I'm along with...
Phil the Wombat.
Scott Brenneman.
AJ
Savopoulos. So, robotic cars.
AJ.
That's first on our little subject list. AJ.
Well, it's interesting that how far cars have come, and now that even someone... they're looking at putting cars into effect that are robotic. They'll park themselves and interact with other things in a matter of 5 to 7 years now to get them. The biggest thing they're trying to get through is the legal issues, but they actually Volvo actually has a car that will drop you off where you want, go into a parking lot or any parking garage and park itself and interact if something else gets in front of it and move around it.
And the day when we can get in our cars, say, take me to work, and then have a nap on the way, would be excellent. I think.
Oh man, there we go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. So thank you, Google. Thank you, DARPA Urban Challenge, for those lovely car innovations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is amazing to think about how far cars have come.
Yeah.
Just on their own. I mean, you look at the first one and everyone was like, oh, it moves! It does stuff!
It doesn't need you to shovel poop.
It doesn't need to be fed grain. You can feed it this new thing called fuel.
Made out of grain.
I guess that's why we started it. We just couldn't stop feeding grain to something to move us.
Economically, it created lots of jobs, too.
It did.
Like, you had to have people that made the steel, that took the steel and, like, built the frames and the cars and all that stuff, and then the fuel industry started, and now it's this huge
Assembly
monster
line.
and everything.
And actually, I think it was the oil industry and the car industry, yeah. If it hadn't been for those two getting together, just think we wouldn't have global warming. Oh, well, not to worry. Yay, electric cars. Soon.
But also...
any day now.
Electric
Yeah, but
cars.
if you look at electric cars, they're not really that much more helpful to the environment because they actually hurt it more by producing electricity.
I don't think that's the case.
There are, like,
actually.
the smart cars that have, like, solar panels in the roofs, not to...
But I
not
mean,
for, like, free energy, but for,
Okay. But you got to look at the alternatives. If you have an electric car, you can charge it using green, energy. You can have, solar. You can have wind turbine. So you can actually use alternate energy to power your electric car. It's harder to do that with a gasoline car. You can't use alternate energy to generate the fuel for a gasoline car.
Yeah.
Okay, you get it?
The biggest problem with getting people to switch to the electric cars is they're pretty expensive right now. That and they don't go really far on a charge that takes forever. It takes forever to charge, and you don't get a whole lot of distance out of it, and it's just a lot easier to get like a Prius and go 40 miles on a gallon than it is to charge your car every night. And
I was actually reading about this the other day. I was looking at Ford's new, I think it's Ford's new electric car. They have a hybrid version. They have a rechargeable hybrid version, which doesn't need gasoline. And you plug it in, and it goes. I think it does 23 miles on a charge. So if you live 10 miles away from your office, that's fine. You get in, you drive there, plug it in when you get there, charges up again, come home. Just think about it. And I'm trying to think of what it was. I think it was like 25 cents a mile is what it costs if you went all electric. So there's a lot of environments where that will work. If you live and work in the city, that'd be fine.
Yeah, and then further on in the future, it's going to make a lot more sense to go electric car because battery technology will be conceivably better in the future. I mean, makes sense. The future should be better. And we may be able to charge... I mean, in the future, you may be able to charge your car in an hour or even less and go twice as far as we can now, in which case then the electric car makes perfect sense because it'd be cheaper. It's more environmentally
I myself
friendly,
would
although
like
it's-
not to have to go to the gas station. In the snow, in the rain,
It reduces-
stand out there and...
It reduces trauma on humans whenever they fill up and they see the price just ticking up continually.
That must take years off of your life expectancy.
All right, moving right along.
But going back to how far they've come, it's amazing the efficiency rates that you used to get like 20 horsepower, 10 horsepower for a car motor back then, and now we can put 500, 600 horsepower out of an engine. It's incredible.
So I want to hear about Scott's all-girl team.
Of course you would, Phil.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. I saw that little subject come in, and it's like the what is it? The all-girl team that created a solar-powered robot.
Car.
Yes, I was looking through the forum today, and I came across this thread that said during the preseason of FTC, there was a team of girls that got together and they wanted to build a robot just for whatever, get practice programming and
Just
stuff
for
like
fun.
that. So they created a totally solar-powered robot that runs,
On solar power.
all on solar power.
And does what?
I'm not sure. It just kind of runs around right now, I think. But I can see them like adding arms and
Just like it. So
stuff like that on. It
Nice.
was like a. Not sure how to describe it, but the whole front was taken up by the solar panel.
You know,
It
they
looked
can't
pretty
see you doing those hand actions, you know.
neat.
Do you remember what the team name or?
It was 6801, I think.
6801. Shout out to 6801.
601. So my question is, what do we think of all-girl teams?
I think they're teams,
Yeah.
just like any other team.
Yeah, pretty
Right.
much.
But you don't think, I mean, I understand the philosophy, you know, getting more girls into engineering and science, and that is very cool. I find it odd quite often that their coaches are all men, which is surprising. You think a better role model would be some female coaches.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
there's-
I don't think it was pushed as much in the last generation to be engineers or
Oh,
something.
no,
like that.
I'm-
And so I think the
Says,
people that are
says the
stepping
young'un.
up.
Says the young'un.
There was past years at Worlds. There's been plenty of girl teams. I think is it Fembots.
Mm.
They had a couple.
I guess I was thinking more of the
female
concept
coaches,
of an all-girl team. For example, if a guy wanted to join the team and they weren't allowed to because it's an all-girl team, is that discrimination?
yeah.
Possibly, but this is America.
Yeah, it's
Oops, I forgot. Sorry.
just kind of the reversal of what we normally think of.
I know. But I mean, if someone said we are an all-guy team and there shall be no girls on this team, everyone would complain.
Oh yeah.
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 So it's kind of interesting. I just think.
Boy, we need to have Megan on this podcast.
That's right. Where's
right now.
Megan? Look, this is an okay. Just so you know, this is an all-guy podcast. There are no women allowed on this podcast at all, ever.
Until we want them to. Yeah.
I was only joking about that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have you know that my FRC team, I have like 6 girls on the programming team. So there you go.
And if you didn't know, Phil's big on programming.
Yeah, that's right.
So no more Samantha modules?
Yeah.
What is this about?
I know. So an email came out a couple of days ago saying, okay, as of today, legacy teams cannot buy Samantha modules. Only rookie teams can buy Samantha modules. If you have a broken Samantha module, you can send it in and get a replacement, but you can't just buy a Samantha module.
Why is that?
You don't.
Well, it's not really clear, actually.
Is it? Are they running out of them?
I guess it must be. I don't know.
Either they're running out of them, or maybe they're coming up with a way to replace them or something.
I could
Well,
see in a couple
I
of
don't-
years going with the EV3 that can get Wi-Fi. and
Yeah.
Well,
stuff.
actually, it can't. You
It
still need
can't?
to plug in a Wi-Fi module into it.
Ah.
I know that sucks pretty badly.
I thought it was Wi-Fi.
No, so did I.
Oh, so then
It's a USB host plug on it, so you can plug a USB to Wi-Fi dongle into it.
Disappointment.
I know.
That's a
So
bit
wait, is the EV3 really help you that much then?
expandable memory would be.
But it takes like
But
useful,
it
but
takes-
an hour and a half to start up.
Yeah, and it
Which is
shutting-
which is fast for a Linux machine.
but my computer, my Windows 8 computer, literally starts up faster than that thing,
I know.
and shuts down faster.
I know it is a little weird. I have yet to find a compelling reason to use it. I mean, I got to say,
And
I
why
like new
move?
tech.
The NXT's been working for years. Why move around?
Yeah, well, I was hoping that there'd be some real advancements in terms of, for example, accuracy in the motors, or, I mean, it's obviously smarter. I mean, I was quite impressed the other day. I was wondering whether the old legacy light sensors would work on the EV3, and I just it's got a view mode where you can just see what's going on in the ports, and I selected port number 1. I just plugged in a light sensor, and it said NXT light sensor. So that was pretty cool that it can ID
So
the
it can,
sensors. That's kind of nice.
I mean, it's an advancement, but it needs less boot time. If they had a really short boot time, it would be. It would be a pretty big
The
update.
mere fact that you tell it to shut down and it sits there and shuts down for, I don't know. I haven't actually timed it, but it's at least 30 seconds.
It has like a full operating system on it.
Yeah, it's doing the whole shutdown, file system close, yada yada yada. But we'll see. The programming environment's also a little weird. I mean, in some respects, it's nicer. It seems to not get all tangled up with itself like the old NXTG does. but other things are kind of goofy, like you're setting a drive command and you have it set for 3 rotations and you switch it to degrees, and it doesn't convert it to degrees like the old software does. It just goes back to 360. It's like, oh, so now you've forgotten how far I was going. It's like you can't do that calculation.
Yeah.
So little things like that are kind of annoying.
Goodbyes.
So, on behalf of all of us here at Teckno Tuesdays, Phil doesn't want to be done yet. We'll do a special podcast, 30 minutes, just for you. Yeah, thank you all for listening. Have a nice day.
Bye.